So, intro.
Yes, intro. We are now recording.
What do we say? Like, we've already spoken about this, but what do we say? Just welcome.
I think hello's a good conversation starter.
What?
Hello.
Just hello.
Good evening.
It's like, gets you going in the right direction.
I think what's happening? Welcome to Waffle Talk. 3 overly straight men in one cardboard cutout of Taylor Swift. Talk about the goings on.
The world.
I think it's hideous. Maybe not the look of it, but the concept of it.
Which is
What happens when the camera's off? See it? Is probably the hideous part.
She just sits behind
like
my
cardboard cutout.
She just sits behind my desk.
She watches.
But because she, pretty much, she can't sit right up against the wall, so she kind of falls over, so she just leans forward.
She not
Don't think so.
She doesn't like being against the wall.
But do you know what? It's the only place for her. It's the only place she can go.
You're the only 26-year-old heterosexual male that I know that has a cardboard cutout of Taylor Swift.
Do you want me to get you one?
I kind of do, aye.
You can get rid of the first two variables. You're the only person I know. A cardboard cutout of Taylor Swift.
That's a good point.
I don't know anyone else.
No, neither do I, but do you know what? I kind of like it that way.
Okay. By the way, welcome to Waffle Talk. There's your intro.
Aye, now we've started. Hey. So, what do we talk about first then?
What's happening in the world?
I've got notes.
It's on your notes.
So this first page is about football.
Right.
I was going to say that.
That implies the second page.
On the second page, it's all-time 11. We'll get to that later. And then just other topics we can talk about.
Just waffle for half an hour and a half.
So we just talk then.
Oh, I get it. Waffle. It's like you really liked waffles or something. Isn't sure.
No.
I originally wanted to call it Blue Waffle and have like the logo as like a waffle with a salt tire on it. But I don't think if you type in Blue Waffle to Google, then
That's definitely not going to come up.
But any time I've searched that, it just comes up like a blue waffle.
Same to be fair, you need to go on specific websites.
I don't do it like every week. That makes it sound like every time I do it.
It's not part of your weekly routine.
The very few times that I've done it, after being tricked into doing so, it's come up with that.
So the thing is, you shouldn't be tricked into doing that more than once.
Goes back to like that old high school. Oh, have you ever been to penislands.com?
I've never heard of that, but I'm not going to check it out.
Oh, you shouldn't.
Hi, this show was brought to you by Lanacare.
If you're wondering who that strange voice in your radio is.
I'll get Still Game on now.
That's what this podcast has got to turn into. It's just got to be Still Game quotes. Start talking about Fitbit and TV and stuff like that, and then it'll just end in chaos. Still Game quotes.
Did we say something?
Going?
YouTube, Spotify, try and get it worldwide, JP.
Whatever. I want some new guy in Zambia tuned in every week.
Now, on the topic of Still Game, I was watching the one with Big Innes in it earlier. And it occurred to me, the guy that plays in is Clive Russell. He looks, but is not related to Kurt Russell.
I need to look at who's that.
He was Santa in the Christmas Chronicles, and he is Star-Lord's dad in Guardians of the Galaxy.
I haven't seen either of them movies.
Oh, okay. Good start.
Who plays Big Innes?
Clive Russell, I'm sure his name is.
No, he fucking doesn't.
Does a wee bit.
They're both old white men with grey hair. That's
One's
about the
American,
extent of it.
One's American, one's Scottish.
Kurt Russell, Clive Russell, or my granda.
Okay then.
It looks not
anyway.
like a one.
He does a wee bit. You
I
get
didn't know he was in Game of Thrones.
Aye. I'm sure that was on one of the newer still game documentary things. It was on BBC. He talks about it.
Does Tony Watt still play for Motherwell?
Yes, he does,
Yeah.
along with Ricky Levy, who used to play for Morton.
We'll need to get the two on. Talking about random footballers appearing in random places, I was watching a Facebook Call of Duty stream the other day, and this guy was randomly playing Warzone with Kieran Tierney, and like there's some random like Londoner with a thick Cockney accent, and then you just hear Kieran Tierney, "You got any plates, mate?" Like in that pure Neddy Scottish voice.
I've got a better one. Diego Laxalt is a Fortnite streamer.
The fact that he wears the Celtic kit as well,
Yeah.
is amazing.
See that on Twitter? I was like, what the fuck?
He's probably getting paid to wear that.
Oh, it will be. It will
Well,
be
somebody
like,
offered me money to play a game. Aye.
especially a game.
Too right.
So
I don't like Fortnite. It's not a fan.
Especially if the game you actually get played to play, you're doing shit at.
you know it's bad when you're streaming Fortnite because Greg Taylor's you at the team. I think one thing though,
Groundbreaking analysis.
since he's came in, like John Joe Kenny, what a player he's been for Celtic. I think he's been amazing.
Oh,
He's
I
right
like
back, isn't he?
right back came for Everton and loan.
Mm.
And I liked Frimpong, but Frimpong's problem is he couldn't put a ball in the box.
He wasn't really that good at defending either.
It wasn't that true. And then that's the thing.
He could beat a man, that was it.
He couldn't even, like Frimpong the first season he could beat a man, but he's very one trick pony. It always went the same way. And I think that's why he had so much problems this season, or at the start of this season before he left. The players in the league, the Scottish League, get wise to him.
See, I thought I said my John Joe. Because it seemed it just gets so far and stick it straight in the middle of the box. It works.
No, like
but
they need to. I hate this way of Celtic playing. They'll bomb in the wings, and then they'll cut back and they'll pass in front of the 12-yard box, and then they'll keep passing left and right, try to find the hole. Whereas you've got guys like Odson Edwards, it's meant to be your out and out striker, falling outside to get the ball. You know what I mean? So he's falling, take away any sort of chance they've got to score. So I think it's getting the balls in the box.
With Celtic and putting balls in the box, that suits their old style when they had a 6'2", 6'3" centre forward, like your Chris Sutton, your John Hartson, good in the air, even Larson, amazing in the air.
Bring back Samaras. George.
Aye, I remember. I've been to a few Celtic games where Samaras was playing, but the one where they played Morton at Capello under Tony Mowbray, the game got to the point where it was postponed that many times. If it was a draw, the only available date to play the replay was the next night. So it was like a Tuesday night at Capello, then it would have been a Wednesday night if it was a draw. James Grady was in charge of Morton, Tony Mowbray was in charge of Celtic, and Samaras played on the left wing. Jim McAllister, Morton's greatest ever captain, he played on the right, and he just had him in his pocket the whole game. It was actually Lee Naylor that was beating Jim McAllister rather than Samaras.
That was the thing with Samaras. He was such a frustrating player. Like if he turned it on and he turned up, it was unplayable. But then there was games like that where if you could see that he couldn't be bothered, then
and that was the thing. Like it felt as though it was like it's only Morton, we'll win anyway. But the game only ended up 1-0, and it was Niall McGinn that scored the winner. Lee Naylor had about 4 shots on target. And there was that wee, I don't know, the wee Asian guy, I forget his name.
There was a at the time.
Genji or something like that, I don't know.
Oh,
I think that was him. He came on, he'd no long just broke through, and he was a ray of sunshine for Celtic, and he came on with like 5 minutes to go and literally just walked about the park. But Tony Mowbray didn't last long after that, I don't think, because I think we played another 2 games and one of them was against St Mirren. Then that was the one where they get punted. So,
Godspeed, Tony Mowbray, wherever you may be.
Blackburn, I think he's at.
Hope you're listening, big man.
This one goes out to Tony Mowbray.
But the thing is, Tony Mowbray was a good manager. Just wasn't he maybe capable of being the manager at Celtic manager.
It's the same as Rangers. Like the job itself, it comes with much more than just being a good manager. I mean, if you look at John Barnes, he wasn't a good fit for Celtic. That's why they get rid of him. You know, guys like McLeish came in and managed, and Tommy Burns, that they just weren't the right fit for Celtic at the time. And I think right now it's the same way with Lennon. I think he's ran his course.
I
don't think he deserves half what he's been put up with the fans.
And that leads me to a question that I've got that I wrote on my notepad. So, yes, do you feel that Celtic now are the same way that they were under Lennon when he was close to the end of his tenure the first time? Obviously, with the only exception of he was winning the league then. Do you think it's the same?
Can't say with the exception of.
No, but you can, it just, to me, as an outsider, things seem to be breaking down the same way. Like, he's got a team that don't really want to play for him. Most of them think they're bigger than the club. And he's just getting pure raging with them because he knows what it takes to be at Celtic, he knows what it takes to captain and play for them, so he's got a different level of passion than what some players will.
So do you think he's lost the dressing room then?
Aye, I do. And I honestly think the best thing for him would be to leave.
I just think he's not good enough.
No, I think he is, but because if you look at,
it's not.
If you take out Celtic, he's not won anything apart from with Hibs. But that Hibs team that he took over wasn't a really good team, with the exception of John McGinn. It wasn't an overly good team. And Alan Stubbs was doing quite well with them at the start, but then just started falling away. And then Lennon came in, and he's not a coach, he's a manager, so he's not involved in the day-to-day coaching side of things. He's more, I don't know, he picks a team in the tactics, and then you've got Strachan and Kennedy who do the actual coaching side of it, whilst he'll watch both sides and analyse to see if it would fit. But I don't think Celtic need that. They need somebody that's going to.
I think when Rodgers left, he came in, on the temporary basis, and he done the job. And I think at that point, they should have been looking for someone else instead of offering him the job in the Shivers at Hampden. I know a lot of fans that have said the exact same thing. Over the last sort of few years, he might have won the league. He might have continued what Rodgers was doing, but and won trophies. But no, I don't think that he should have been here. He's done the job, but I think, especially this season, the way everything's going, 100%, COVID's went against them. Celtic's a team that need the crowd behind them. They need that 12th man, and it's been, and that's been taken away. But I don't think that, especially in this season, I think Lennon needs to go at the end of the season. I don't think
it was temporary. You can't go for somebody as good as Rodgers. Going to Lennon's just a big step down.
Aye.
Wrong direction. Club's too big for him.
So, like when Rodgers left, Lennon should have been brought in and saying, listen, it is just for a couple of months until we can find a replacement. And then go through the whole interview process and spend that however many months it was till the end of the season actually trying to look for somebody. Because at that point, Celtic stock was probably as high as it had been in, 10, 15 years?
Oh, definitely. I think that if they brought Lennon in on that temporary basis up until that cup final, and win the cup final, and they say, right, Neil, cheers for your time, been amazing, but during that time that he was there, they could have easily got a higher calibre of manager in, but the way it's went, I think since Rodgers, Celtic have been slowly declining, and then it's got to this season, it's just been a plummet, and now it's the stock, like say, stocks went down. I don't think we'll get the same sort of calibre of manager as, there's people shouting Eddie Howe or, guys like that. I think one of the ones I seen was somebody said Roberto Martinez.
Aye.
I seen that on Twitter. I don't think Celtic will get near that sort of calibre of manager.
I think the kind of people that Celtic would be looking for are either like your English Championship, your English League One level managers if they're in a job. Mm-hmm. They can maybe get a high profile manager if they're out of a job. So like a name like Rafa Benitez that was getting flung about. You can get somebody like that if you make it exciting for them. So, but I suppose that was what Rodgers done at the time. Like, he was at a job, he knew how to get himself back in the market, and the easiest way to do it was take a job where he knew he was going to win things. He probably didn't expect it to go as well as what it did.
His first season went invincible, wasn't it?
Nah, it was the invincible season. So he probably didn't expect that. He probably says, I will lose 2 or 3 times a season. But he probably never walked in thinking, right, we can win. He probably did say we can win every trophy going, but we can't win every game going. And then to go unbeaten for the full season.
And Celtic's problem as well is it's Europe. It's been the same for the last few seasons. Again, it's just where, if you look at Lennon's first stint, we are consistent Champions League group stages, getting that money in. With the highs of beating Barcelona, with that 2-1 away win against Shakhtar.
Right.
And then even more recently, with home and away wins against Lazio. But things like, last season, not, making the competition, and that sort of hurts your stock bringing in a manager. So,
unless you get a manager that can come in and turn around and say, well, do you know what, I will turn everything around. Kind of way Rodgers did, like he gets all youth teams playing all the same type as what first teams playing, so that they're bringing through a certain style of football. But I don't know, maybe this new guy that comes in.
He might be slow.
Aye.
Because they bring somebody in, it needs to be a case of
complete rebuild. Aye.
Complete rebuild.
I'm guaranteeing your players like your Odson Edwards and that, and Ryan Christie's, probably not Callum McGregor. I think McGregor will stay. I think James Forrest might stay, depending on what sort of offers they get. But definitely your Edwards, your Ryan Christie's, players like that, they'll all go in the summer, 100%. So I think it will be a complete rebuild job.
Aye, and the likes of like Brown, like Rodgers said, he was Celtic's best player, and he had to be protected at all costs, which is why he didn't play every game. He saved them for Europe. But if they were then playing Morton in the Cup, for example, put him on the bench. He can get the last 5-10 minutes if it's needed. But don't play him every game, because now, he's 35 and done. And I wouldn't be surprised if he retired.
Nah.
They really wouldn't be, or if he doesn't retire, then he'll maybe go to a lower end SPL team, might go back to Hibs and end his career.
I see him retiring and then end up with his coaching badges and starting off at, maybe like a coach at Celtic, and then eventually taking over, like say, a Hibs job.
Because he used to be was it an assistant manager or a coach for under 23s or under 20s or whatever it was when Stevie Frail was in charge of the Celtic reserves.
Under 20s,
because they played Morton when Morton done the testimonial for the kitman, Andy. It was Celtic that they played, but it was like Kearney played all younger ones. At that time, there wasn't the first team players there at that point. And it was Brown that was doing all the training stuff, and Frail was on his side. So he must already have some form of coaching qualification to be able to turn around and say, well, do you know what? I'll jump in and develop and then see where it takes me.
Probably.
No, definitely.
Aye. So that's pretty much everything I had for Celtic.
That is Scottish football.
That's Scottish football, aye. Pretty much.
Now we get to the part where the arguments start.
Aye, we're going to start arguing, JP.
Why?
We've got a 4-4-2 formation. We need to pick the all-time 11 as a group from anywhere in the world at any time.
And it has to be collectively agreed on.
Collectively agreed on. So we'll start goalkeeper.
We'll start with the goalkeeper.
So, Michael.
Goalkeeper. It's a good start, but
Peter Schmeichel in his prime.
I don't know.
Or Casillas. One of
I
them.
would say in their prime you're looking at Casillas or Oliver Kahn.
So I was going to say in their prime either Kahn, Casillas or Petr Cech.
Cech. I don't know. Cech was good, but I think if you're looking at all times, then you're looking at players like Kahn, Casillas, Schmeichel. I think Cech's, if you do like whatever YouTubers doing like their tier list, you're looking at, because Cech's probably here along with like your Van der Sar and that, but then your upper echelon, that's where your Kahn, your
Fun.
Casillas and that.
This one because he's still playing.
So it could be any player, because eventually we're going to get to, the forwards, and then there'll be talks about having Messi and Ronaldo there. So
I suppose.
I think the first name we all properly said was Casillas.
Aye.
And if you look at that Spain team that he was in, it was like they won the World Cup, the Euros.
Yeah.
What was it, World Cup, Euros, World Cup or something like that? Or World Cup, Euros, something like that.
World Cup, Euros. And then obviously he done Real Madrid.
Aye. So we'll go for Casillas then, because we all seem to agree on that.
I think it's only fair.
I'd say Casillas.
Okay, cool. We'll... Right back.
Right back.
Your obvious choices are...
Kieran Tierney.
He was a left back, but okay. Cafu. Zanetti.
Chaduri.
No, not at all.
Right back was Chaduri.
We're talking about world class here. No, can't even make it any Celtic team properly.
Chaduri's dad was a world class, was it centre back? His dad was like Chad Bumcum, he's called. I think that's his dad's name. I'm pretty sure his name's Chad Bumcum.
I don't want to.
I don't know.
I think for me, I would probably be more inclined to say Zanetti.
That's the first name. When we said right back, the first name that came in my head was Zanetti. I didn't even think of Cafu.
Both very good, but I prefer Zanetti.
I'd say Zanetti.
Cool. JP.
Aye.
Right, cool. Right, we'll do left back next. Tierney. Centre halves with
Tierney.
20 pick. Nah, no. You're saying Kieran Tierney, and you've not mentioned Maldini, Roberto Carlos, Patrice Evra, Ashley Cole.
I don't put Maldini as a centre back. He was one of my choices as a centre back. Him and Puyol as a pairing. But
right, okay.
Left back, then Rab Carlos. Definitely stand out left back. Or would you class? Where would you class Patrice Evra?
Not as good as Ashley Cole.
I think Evra's better than Ashley Cole.
No, I don't know. There was just something about Ashley Cole and that Chelsea team that was just brilliant.
So you're only saying Ashley Cole because he was getting a ride at Cheryl Cole?
No, I was talking about how good he was at Arsenal and Chelsea.
Again, don't know. I don't know enough about them to argue a point.
So I would say, based on looking at players in their prime, I would say Maldini was the best left back because that's where he started.
So do you want to put Maldini as left back then?
Yes, very much so.
I mean, as long as Maldini makes the team, I'm happy with that.
Me too. Which means that we need to look for two centre backs.
Well, I'm wearing these shoes right now, the special Adidas editions, Franz Beckenbauer.
Shout, by the way.
So you've got Beckenbauer, you've got Nesta.
Only because he's on my feet, I can see his name. So he'd be quite good.
But then if you bring it as into more current players or ex-players, so you've got Ramos. No, but we're looking for an all-time 11.
Aye, you can't say all-time, but current.
No, but then I'm just saying if you look at current... No, if you look at more current players, because you've then got the likes of like... Aye, so you've got like John Terry, Vidic, Ferdinand...
Absolutely not.
Because they're English?
I don't care. No, just John Terry. Don't care how good he was.
I would say Vidic, but I wouldn't say Terry or Ferdinand.
Okay, who else have you got? You've got...
Sergio Ramos, 100%.
Ramos, Puyol, Piqué.
If we're looking at the Spanish centre-backs, Ramos is a far better centre-back than Piqué. And I think that there's far better centre-backs than Ramos. I wouldn't put Piqué in the team.
Okay, cool. Cannavaro, Nesta.
Cannavaro, shout. Let's just get it out of the way, over and done with. There's no chance Virgil van Dijk makes this team. No chance in hell.
No, absolutely not.
No.
Not even the best centre half at Liverpool.
Joe Matip.
I was thinking about Joe Gomez, but Joe Matip.
Joe Gomez.
Real Ferdinand.
Yeah, I think him and Vidic worked, but I preferred Vidic was a better defender.
What about Ronald Koeman? He was a decent centre-back in his time.
Was he a centre-back?
Was it?
I always thought he was a defensive mid.
So I've played centre-back and kind of played both, but mainly as a centre-back.
Centre-back.
He was, obviously.
Good in his day, good at free kicks. Rocket right fit on him.
If we're talking good defenders, good centre-backs, then the conversation needs to include Bobo Valde.
No, it doesn't.
No nonsense. The guy couldn't play football, but he would.
Okay, so not Bobo Valde. So I would say if it was me, my two centre backs would probably be Cannavaro and Puyol. That's the two I would pick.
For me, Cannavaro and either Puyol or Ramos.
Ramos.
So we'll do Ramos because that's 2 against 1.
I'd go Ramos, Cannavaro then.
Yeah.
Ramos, Cannavaro, cool. Then right winger.
This is where you could say guys like David Beckham.
Aye, so the first person that comes to my mind when you say right winger is Figo.
Also, early in his career, Messi. Messi spends a lot of time on the right.
You could also put him on the left or up front.
Eventually, we're going to fit him and Ronaldo in the team. And it's left wing, right wing, striker.
Ronaldinho,
aye. Xavi, Iniesta, Pirlo. Ronaldinho was more like a number 10, attacking mid.
Centre forward.
But you could probably put him out in a wing and he would
fast.
They would win you games.
Yeah. I think if it's going to be our best of all time, it would probably need to be a right winger that plays on the right wing.
What about Georgie Best?
If we're talking about right wingers, then we need to bring up Kevin Finlayson, who used to play for Norm.
I've never even heard him.
Alright, and I'll save my Morton ones for later then. Peter Wellison up front with Raoul.
I don't think we'll get much Morton fans listening to the podcast, to be fair. It's kind of like a juniors team. I enjoy it to Capello, mate.
Well, the last time we were at Capello, we were getting beat 2-0 at half time against Partick this on a Friday night. And then John Sutton comes on and changes the full landscape of the game.
So
it's 1 goal. Of course he is. Sets up 2 goals and scores 1. The guy was 36 or something like that. So anyway, right winger that's not John Sutton. I would say Figo.
I would be between Figo and Beckham.
I think Figo was a bit better at attacking than what Beckham was. Beckham was always good for your set pieces or your crosses, but actually running down a wing and causing defences trouble, I would say Figo was better for it.
Figo.
For it.
Thanks for your input, JP.
What we'll do, I think at the end we'll do a few honourable mentions that we've missed out.
Of course, aye, that would make sense.
Because there's a guy that I want to make the team, but I know for a fact he won't let me have him in the team.
That's going to be Duncan Ferguson.
It's got Duncan Ferguson.
Anyway, get him a shout out at the end.
Left mid.
Your left mid, so you've got Giggs.
Yeah.
Giggs in his prime was probably top tier.
He did have a go at his sister's wife though.
His brother's wife.
Consideration.
Ribéry, aye. Iron Robin.
Neymar.
Absolutely.
Hazard at Chelsea.
Chelsea Hazard, yes. Possibly, but Madrid Hazard, no.
No. Who else have you got?
Robert Pires.
Aye, Pires.
Pavel Nedved.
Freddie Ljungberg.
Mark Overmars. That's a shout.
That is a shout, actually. Mark Overmars, I would probably say. This is difficult.
But you could also play Thierry Henry on the left wing.
You could play Thierry Henry, aye.
I'm just going looking for 21 icon cards now.
What about Ronaldo?
Aye, because
I mean,
CR7 Ronaldo.
aye, because I think when it comes to up front, Ronaldo's only more recently been a striker rather than, well, saying
Plus-
that.
there's better up front players than Ronaldo you could put there all time. So where else are you going to use him?
Definitely.
That's true. But then you've got to add in Messi A team, so does he then just become one of the up front strikers and then you look at a partner for him?
Stick him on the bench.
See, I kind of agree with that because I'm more in the CR7 camp than I'm Leo Messi.
See, so am I.
That would be, it's controversial. So that's one of those conversations. Who is the greatest of all time, Messi or Ronaldo? I say Ronaldo.
I say Ronaldo.
50-50.
50-50.
So
I'd say Ronaldo now, I think.
CR7 on the left.
So, Ronaldo. So, CR7. If you're listening, Ronaldo. Respect. So, now we need two centre mids.
Shinsuke Nakamura.
I was genuinely about to say. I was just about to break it down. Hear me out. Shinsuke
That is a serious suggestion.
100%. That man can open a ton of beans with his left peg. He is that powerful. But
you've got the likes of Paul Scholes,
no,
Xavi, Iniesta, Lampard, Gerrard.
Lampard, no, because there's
No.
like you get Kaká, Ronaldinho, Zidane,
Zidane,
Lothar Matthäus as CDM. That guy had a cannon for a right peg.
Koeman as well, I suppose, because we've already said he can play up in the middle.
Cantona, although he's more of an attacking
You've
midfielder.
been an attacking mid. Vieira. Pirlo,
of course. Claude Makelele, what a guy.
Aye, only player to have a position named after him. Michael Tidzer.
Aidan Nisbet. Nicky Cadden.
Aye, Nicky Cadden, he should be on the left wing. Ronaldo up front.
What's that other boy's name? Alex Easdale. Is he a centre mid?
He's not a centre mid. He's a striker.
Is he a striker? I don't know. I watched him play at Morton once and I thought
that was the game against Man U.
Oh, sorry, I played the youth team. Who was that big keeper that Man U had? Like the guy was like 8 foot tall.
That was that Pereira, played for Hearts last year.
Was it?
It was him.
Fair play to him.
I think there's too many names.
There is. It's hard to find a good centre mid.
So I think your perfect balance for centre mids is one more defensive and one slightly more attacking.
Xavi and Iniesta. They must have been one of the best midfields ever. Them two working together.
Aye.
Easily with that Barca team.
That Barca team was frightening. And
that Barca team was frightening.
As controversial as it sounds, I think if it wasn't for Xavi and Iniesta, I don't think Messi would have been half as good as he is.
No, he wouldn't have been.
Yeah.
No, because when it comes to Xavi and Iniesta, they're more intelligent. So they're not just looking for where the next pass is, they're looking for where the next 5 or 6 passes are going to be and where they need to be based on where they think the ball's going to be going about the park.
I'd say them two just because there is actual proof that they'd work well together. Because they do.
I think we need to go Xavi and Iniesta.
I'm all for Xavi and Iniesta.
As much as I want Pirlo on the team, he can be an honourable mention.
As much as I want Nakamura.
He can be an honourable mention as well.
We go with Xavi and Iniesta.
Xavi and Iniesta.
Xavi and Iniesta. Now we go to the most important part, striker.
No.
Jai Katongo.
No.
Gary Hooper.
Who?
Gary
Hooper.
The only way you would go for Gary Hooper is if you're going to have Tony Stokes next to him.
I mean, honourable mention, Tony Stokes is that.
He's probably the most realistic person you could go on this, actually. An actual connection.
Would he have an actual connection, I suppose, aye?
To who?
Tony Stokes.
No, Stokes.
Stokes, aye, Paul Stokes.
Manager of
manager of our top spouse with him. Bobby Petter as well.
Getting Stokesy on next week.
Bobby Petter.
Bobby Petter.
DJ'd in Harwood's one night after the
Charlie Boys.
After the Charlie Boys night.
Let's get Pele, Maradona.
They've not been in Harwood's, just for clarification.
For people listening across the world, Harwood's is a dump in the middle of Greenock. Greenock's a dump in the middle of Scotland. Scotland's a dump in the middle of Europe.
Aye. We're on the west coast of Scotland, actually.
Sorry. It's a dump in the west coast of Scotland.
Thank you.
Was it a 4-4-2?
Aye, 4-4-2, so two strikers.
Two strikers. You've got...
I've got a... So I'm not saying Pele.
Two.
Pele was overrated.
Ronaldo?
I'm thinking Ronaldo. I'm thinking of Ronaldo and Maradona.
Would you class Didier Drogba as world class?
Yes, absolutely. But I'm afraid he would need to be an honourable mention. And it pains me to say it.
Look, I thought Pele and Maradona, and you thought Maradona and Ronaldo. I'm willing to compromise here.
Just go for Maradona.
Then see what James says.
I agree with it, R9. Maradona. I don't know. I'd say I don't know about Maradona. Obviously,
getting coked up before the game. Plenty of energy.
See if you don't watch that video of him warming up to a game listening to Opus, Life is Life,
brilliant.
Then you're not a real football fan.
I hear he's good at taking corners, but not the traditional footballing corners.
He holds the line well. Obviously, what we need to say is R.I.P. Maradona.
There's all satire. These comments and views don't represent us as people.
And Maradona's respect, no, not respect. Memory. We are flying a flag at half mast.
I normally sit at half mast, just always ready. Near enough 2 hours that the first penis joke comes in here.
So what we're saying then? Yes. So what we're saying then?
I'd go Ronaldo Maradona then.
Yeah.
Ronaldo Maradona. Cool.
Look at that team. You've got Casillas, Zanetti, Cannavaro, Ramos, Maldini, CR7, Xavi, Iniesta, Figo, Ronaldo, Maradona.
Aye.
Big names.
I don't think you get any better than that.
you don't. But I mean, there's players that we've missed out, like Zidane, PK, or not PK, sorry, Pirlo, Puyol,
Beckham, Giggs,
Raul, Kaka,
Zlatan,
Ronaldinho, Duncan Ferguson, Everton legend, Jimmy Bernard,
Scott Brown, obviously, Michael Tidser, Peter Weatherson,
Fraser Forster, Ewan Henderson, Scott Walsh, or is that his name, Scott Walsh?
Stephen Welsh,
Karamoka Dembele.
I'm strong local flex.
Local flex, aye.
If we do an Instagram live, we might get him on.
Maybe. But I would say that's probably as teams go, aye. But also an honourable mention to the likes of Michael Ballack, Michael Essien,
Nakamura,
Van Bommel.
Marco Van Bommel. We didn't even talk to
I want an honourable mention for Schmeichel.
Okay, well, Schmeichel is honourable, aye.
Peter, not Casper.
Casper used to play for Falkirk way back in the day. Before he was big.
He was always
Falkirk, aye. Nah, not always.
As much as it pains me to say, honourable mention to prime Fernando Torres.
Oh, what a player.
What a player for Liverpool, and I hate Liverpool. No offence to Liverpool fans, but Copites are gobshites. Absolutely. But prime Torres, like, see when that long slick back blonde hair came out in the hairband, you knew you were in trouble.
Until that season where he signed for Chelsea, because he was atrocious that whole season.
The only good thing he done for Chelsea was that goal against Barca, which I could have scored with a hangover.
Speaking of that game, an honourable mention to Valdez.
Victor Valdez.
He was a very good keeper.
He was.
Played for Man U as well.
Vitor Baia.
Who?
Vitor Baia, the old Porto goalkeeper.
Oh, right, okay.
Played for them. They won UEFA Cup against Celtic and then Champions League the following season.
Aye.
Under
Van der Sar.
Van der Sar.
Van der Sar, I like Van der Sar.
So many players that were like, obviously, like Ashley Cole, Thierry Henry,
Perez, Vieira, Dennis Bergkamp, Alan Shearer,
Robbie Keane.
Robbie Keane.
I know who we didn't even talk about once.
Shane Duffy.
I'm just going to ignore that Shane Duffy comment. Who did you say, Jay?
Tim Cahill.
Tim Cahill, yes.
Absolute hero.
Here's a question for you. So, a team like that, who's your manager?
It has to be Carlo Ancelotti. Has to be.
I don't know.
A team like that, you would be stuck between Ancelotti and Mourinho. Aye, they would be the only two big names that you would want in charge of your team.
You'd need a big personality in charge of that team.
Aye.
What you're wanting, Carlo is the mind behind the team. Big Dunk is assistant manager.
So why don't next week we've got our all-time 11? There's clearly enough room for another all-time 11. So why don't we make an alternative 11? And
make
then
an alternative 11 and then put up a straw poll for people to vote on.
Yes.
Fair enough. We do need to, at some point, maybe next week or the following week, talk about all-time football kits.
Yes.
Absolute belters.
There's absolute belters out there.
You could do what FIFA used to do. They used to have World 11, and then the current 11.
Mm-hmm.
So the best players in history, and then a team of the best current players all together.
So that's 2 more teams we need to do in, because this all-time 11 team needs to have another all-time 11 team to go against it. Because there's so many people that we've made left out, and we've gave that many people an honourable mention.
We were really bad at this.
Aye, so I would say go for Ancelotti as a manager, and then next week we'll get another all-time 11, and it'll be Mourinho that'll manage that one, and then we'll make up a score.
You see what happened the last time Ancelotti came up against Mourinho?
It was 5-4.
What a goal. Bernard. That doesn't get talked about enough. So
do you know why it doesn't get talked about enough though?
Why?
Because Carlo Ancelotti was quite cool as a cucumber. Wake up. 5-4 lads.
Obviously I follow Everton as well, as you know, Grant. But Sigurdsson's a player that's had a lot of stick this season, especially. I thought
reasons.
And Tam Davies played unreal against Spurs. Siggy's pass to Bernard in.
Aye. Was it Sigurdsson not involved in four of the goals?
So he scored the penalty. I think I scored the penalty and 3 assists. Sure. But I digress. I think we've spent long enough in football. We've got other topics.
Yes, we have other topics. So
other topics are.
I think it's only fair as 3 very straight men to talk about Taylor Swift's new album.
So we've got music, TV and film, and then just general lockdown stuff. But TV and film and music can link into your general lockdown stuff, and so...
I think we generally just spend the next 10-15 minutes waffling, because at this stage it's got to be a 3-hour long podcast. And I've got a very angry fiancée downstairs that I told her, I'm only going to be away for an hour, don't worry, babes.
So, yes.
You can't tell the difference between Love Story.
Yes, you can. There is differences between it.
There probably is differences, but you can't tell them.
But you can.
I couldn't tell the difference to start with.
No, I listened as well.
No, you can tell there's differences because obviously the newer version suits her voice now, and it's adapted to the way that she now sings the song based on not being a wee 15-year-old lassie anymore. And she's not got that same high-pitched voice as what she used to have.
We're even discussing this.
Because she's releasing a new album and there's going to be about 26 songs on it. Well, she's re-releasing the Fearless album, which is what Love Story was on. So she's re-releasing that with 6 new songs, I'm sure.
Alright.
So, it'll be fun. I don't know when it comes out.
Any of the new ones.
The Love Story came out a day in time for Valentine's Day because of that Ryan Reynolds advert, the one I showed you in the car that night. The one with the devil, the dating, the dating website advert.
Aye.
She released him a snippet for that. But aye, excited. Taylor Swift.
Good stuff.
I suppose.
Aye.
John, I've been enjoying listening to recently lo-fi hip-hop covers. That's been keeping me recently.
There's a great playlist on Spotify and it's just covers.
Mm-hmm. Is it the songs? One? What's it called? I'm pulling up my Spotify right now.
I've not even got my phone on me, but I've saved it because it is good. So the songs are like 30 seconds long.
Oh, that's not... So the one that I listen to is called Lo-Fi Fruits Music by...
Yeah, is it the Little Fruits?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that one.
Like, some really good covers on it. Wish You Were Here. Pink Floyd cover. Amazing. Yeah. Fireflies, 1,000 Years. There's some belters on it. Absolute, like, Shape of You, Bad Romances.
They don't last long enough, but
they don't. That's all.
Because they aren't full songs. It's just quick snippets.
There's a YouTube.
I've not listened to any of these songs. I need to get a listen.
There's a YouTube channel that does like anime and game sort of lo-fi covers, and the Final Fantasy and Kingdom Hearts ones are just unreal.
Is that what you and Cody used to play in work all the time?
No, I
Or
never.
was that something else?
No. What one?
I don't
Also,
know.
the one that we used to play in work was the Fallout 3 Galaxy News Radio playlist.
That's what it was. Aye.
Some absolute classics in that.
I've not really listened to new music recently.
I wouldn't call it new music. It's more like
undiscovered music to me. Then
background,
I've just
sort of chilled.
Right, okay.
It would never be big.
What's it called? Lo-fi.
Lo-fi fruit sounds, I think.
Lo-fi fruits music.
100%.
Is that it?
That's it, mate. So if you're just like chilling, like if you're playing Football Manager, like I'll listen to it all the time. Like I'm sat and I'm doing coaching forms or whatever. Then I've got.
I'll stick it on if I'm studying. Sometimes.
Right. Okay. Cool. I have added it to my library.
Let's get chill. What else is happening in the world of music? I don't really pay much attention to it.
No, nothing. I've not really been listening to any new music.
Glastonbury got cancelled a couple of weeks ago.
Aye. Did you see though that
it's the only festival that's been cancelled?
Did you not see that there were the two people that organise it were talking about potentially doing a virtual one?
Yeah.
So that they would get the same acts to do it that were going to do it this year, but just get them to do it from their home.
Mm-hmm. It wouldn't be the same.
No,
I get to watch, but it's obviously would be nothing like it.
Aye, and I think, because what is it for a ticket for Glastonbury? For a day, you're about 80 quid or something like that. For a day ticket, so say you charge 20 quid a ticket to do it virtual, you'd get a lot more people that would want to do it. Because you would get people from all over the world that would want to listen to it.
You'd need to do it so the money goes to charity, I think.
Aye.
Because an artist can't justify going, give me that full pay for sitting in the house doing it.
Aye.
They've got absolutely no costs other than what it costs to actually stream it out. Well.
It's like there was a TV show on BBC One on Saturday night called Musicals, and it was that Sheridan Smith that hosted it. And basically what she done was, it was the Royal, somewhere in London, Albert Hall or something like that, I don't know.
Royal Albert Hall.
That's it. I was missing one word. And what she done was, so if you've got the stage, and the audience was where a lot of the band members were, obviously being all socially distant. And then the cameras were at the back of the stage looking out onto the audience. Aye, the audience would be at the front of the camera basically, which was quite good, but I'm pretty sure they were all volunteers just for a bit of fun.
Yeah.
So talking about like in Glasgow and that going online and this virtual world, how are you still finding this virtual world? Like, how are you coping with it?
Alright.
Alright.
I've not really found any problems.
No, me neither.
Other than not being able to work and get paid.
Aye, that's the only thing. I think it likes that, like going on a night out and that, you don't mind not doing, because it's not the same, but you can just meet with your pals on Zoom.
Saying that, any day of the week I'd choose actually going out over online.
Aye, so would I,
100%.
As it is just now, it's all we've got.
Exactly.
But it does pose the, when things are like when we're allowed to go back into pubs and that, it's going to be a case of, do you want to go for a pint? And the answer will always be yes.
Yeah.
I mean, I've missed it, but it's not even the night out factor for me. It's like going there or drive to places like we used to do, like time grant, like going or driving to McDonald's or whatever.
It's probably just seeing people.
Seeing people, definitely.
Yeah. It was around this time last year, actually, I was thinking, if this pandemic goes on another couple of months, I won't need to do the Easter Sunday shift at Word Up. And then it progressed to, I might not need to work Halloween. Then it was, I'm working Christmas, but it's empty. And now it's no working Easter again. And I probably won't work a full capacity Easter for a couple of years.
That's very true.
Only good thing to come from this, I think. That and the insane scientific and like advancements and stuff like that, but they're not important to me.
No, we don't care about stuff like that as long as we can get back out of day things and let the actual scientists deal with science.
Aye.
But what about you, Jay?
Text. Well, I'm going to say that. I must text.
It's hard to think because obviously my birthday being a couple of weeks ago, it was a Tuesday. It should have been spent in text, singing karaoke.
Bad context for people watching, text is like it's like a pub kind of. It's like a mix between a pub, nightclub,
it's a nightclub.
Like side entrance.
It's a nightclub with a pub's license.
Aye.
I bet a weird one. But
it's a wonderful place.
That is.
People like going to church. I like going to text.
You know, the day before Belinda Carlisle wrote Heaven is a Place on Earth, she was actually in text. And I don't think that is a coincidence.
I don't even think text existed back then.
Sorry, she was in CC's.
CC's, it was CC's.
It would have been a car dealership. And she wrote that.
When Celtic fans sing about Take Me to Your Paradise, I Want to See the Jungle, they're really talking about Word Up.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about a jungle.
Take me to your paradise, I want to see your Word Up.
I want to see your uncle.
Get to your auntie's house, I want to see your uncle.
But moving on off of text, I know we're all Brooklyn Nine-Nine fans, so how do you feel about the ending?
I feel like I've been stabbed.
Stabbed in the back. Ate two Isa. But did you see the interview, sort of the thing that they put on Facebook for it? Saying that they'd I can't say that word.
156 episodes or something.
150 envisioned. 153 episodes is all.
153. Yeah.
They wrote, but they hadn't told anyone that that's all they wrote.
Mm-hmm.
And then it was I think it was Andy Samberg had says to them, like, I think season 8 should be the end. And then they went, well, that's convenient because we've only wrote season 8. We've got nothing else planned. So
what is it? That's the third time they've announced they're stopping it, isn't
it? Is it second or third day? Because the last time it was stopped because the TV channel that they're on, or the studio that they used, didn't want to renew it.
Yeah.
And then was it ABC or Fox or something brought it over and
brought it back.
Brought it back after a couple of weeks.
Second time was because of Black Lives Matter, actually. I think it was in response to the protests.
Yeah, because apparently a lot of the newer episodes are aimed towards like Black Lives Matter, COVID, police brutality, all that kind of stuff.
But this time there's no actual reason. There's no outside factor forcing them.
No.
It's an internal decision.
It's just...
This time.
there's probably only so much you can write. Like, there's got to come to a point where there's a cop show, albeit a bit of a different cop show from what you would usually see, and it just comes to a point where you've wrote all you can write about.
I want to see a Hitchcock and Scully spin-off.
That would be good. That would be amazing.
Brilliant.
Because is it season 6? They go back. They go back in time with her that they put into protective custody,
Mm-hmm.
and they never speak to her, but they always know she's all right.
The hot wing place.
Aye, because she always gave them one extra hot wing, and that just meant that she was all right.
Mm-hmm.
That was quite good seeing that back the way it was, but you would like to see. I think it would be good.
No.
And I don't think you could do it with any other characters.
Morrissey's just walked in, he's just standing there.
Oh, you right? I think I thought the thingy, Sean.
No.
For the listeners at home, that is Simo, that is JP's roommate.
Roommate, lover, friend, all of the above.
Oh, JP's muted himself, he's talking about us.
Just explaining now.
I asked him if he wanted to take him on, and he says no.
He said that.
He's missed out in fame.
Extravagant fame.
Aye. This will get a full 5 views on YouTube by next Thursday.
The year's 2024. We're still in lockdown. Coronavirus is still taking over. We're on 10 subscribers.
Yes.
Dizzying heights.
95 more and we can actually make money off this.
I'm still waiting for Manscaped and Raid Shadow Legends adverts on our videos. Please sponsor us.
Speaking of lockdown and COVID, have you watched that film about it? That Songbird?
No, I've heard
it is rubbish.
Bad.
It is so bad.
I said that, but
something there.
You wouldn't waste your time on it.
See how quickly it came out?
Aye.
It was obviously going to be pretty bad.
Aye.
Movies take years to make.
Aye. Good movies do.
Beginning to the end process.
Aye.
Like the pandemic started and 3 months later, like, we've got a blockbuster. Going to be rushed, going to be terrible.
It's as good as Blockbuster was.
Is there any big names in?
This actual Blockbuster. Actual Blockbuster was banging.
I will. A certain generation. For the ones listening at home that don't know what Blockbuster is, that's where you used to go to rent your movies.
I can vaguely remember Blockbuster, and it was going there for my pal's birthday party. We went to Burger King before it, and then we rented Destroy All Humans 2 for the PS2.
What a game. I love it. I used to live directly across the road from a Blockbuster, and I was in it weekly. I had one of the cards and everything. It was so good.
I just usually always just went in for a look.
No,
to see what I wanted to go and buy.
There's one shop still open.
Is there?
Yeah.
One shop in America, I'm sure it is in there. Is that America?
I'd imagine so.
They don't even sell or rent movies anymore. They're literally just selling merchandise. Like you can get Blockbuster tracksuits and stuff like that.
That's mental. No mind they brought the Twitter page back that they closed down, and it was just a hello, we don't like it anymore. And then just deactivated the account again. But aye.
It was Netflix that shut them.
Oh aye, big time.
Definitely.
Because Netflix used to be the same as Blockbuster.
Yeah,
Netflix
you
used to be
rent
rented movies and they sent them. Aye, they sent either the video or the DVD out to you.
Yeah. Barely
But
remember it.
But I suppose
I always thought Netflix was a new thing.
Aye.
Maybe 10 years ago.
I don't think it ever really took off as a sort of mail order type thing in the UK. I think it was mainly an American audience, and then they started obviously moving to streaming, and then that's where it got massive.
Which is where everything's going.
Yeah,
movies are going that way as well.
Yeah, I mean, look at
that Pixar movie, Soul.
Aye.
I don't think I wouldn't have seen it if it came out in cinemas. I wouldn't have went to the cinema to watch it.
It's the same as like the live action Mulan. I would never have watched that unless it was on Disney Plus.
And I also didn't watch it because you had to pay for it at first.
100%. I'll wait it until it went free.
But you get ones like the new James Bond coming out. People are going to go to the cinema to watch that.
Aye, but if we're still in this situation, and what is it, November it comes out? If we're still in a situation, I would buy to watch it. I would rent it.
What I'm saying is, like, the people making the movies know that the cinema they'll make too much money.
Aye,
they'll make more money if they put it in the cinemas and have cinemas paying for the movie.
Aye.
If you're going to watch it at home, there's nothing to stop you just streaming it somewhere else.
Aye.
You wouldn't even need to buy it.
Aye.
That's the danger with streaming stuff.
What I felt with Mulan is when that came out, 20 quid was quite steep for somebody like me who just wants to watch it myself. Whereas if you've got a family of 4, aye, so if you're like a family of 4, you work it away, it's a £5 each. Aye, you weigh up, it's cheaper than going to a cinema, but for the likes of me, you're like, no, it's more expensive. Again, right, we're recording again. Welcome back.
Part 4.
This show is brought to you by Lanacare.
That's fun.
The perfect spot for an advert. So if Red Shadow Legends is watching, he's a shout. I'd love a Loot Crate sponsorship. Send me a free Loot Crate so I can.
That'd be brilliant.
Did you see there's a guy on TikTok and he is sponsored by Panini for English Premier League stickers? That's brilliant.
Is it that Look Solve Collectibles or something? I watch this challenges like I'll find Harry Maguire in 3 packs or whatever. He's got him.
What a bullshit challenge.
No, but there's football players that contact him and will say, right, if you can find Mark Aird in 3 packs, I'll give you signed boots to go away.
That Leeds player's at Leaf or Leaf.
Aye.
He does a lot of, and so has Pulisic has done a fair amount.
Aye.
You would lie, wouldn't you? Just record yourself opening 3 packs, and if it doesn't work, just go, well, I'll just delete that one. Record it again.
It's like, it takes the people's comments, so like, say like a random person says, right, I want you to find 2 badges in 5 packs for a box, and then he's like, cool, if I find these in 5 packs, then I'll send you a box of stickers, so like giveaways.
Yeah.
It's a good one. I commented on it one night drunk, and I think I went and said, you need to find Calvert-Lewin, Shinsuke Nakamura and Henrik Larsson.
The intro's just sort of, how do we start it? The ending's just, how do we end this?
How do we end this?
The honest answer is we don't know.
We don't know.
It's like that. You ever seen that, like, the gig poster? And it's just a text conversation. And it's the guy and he says, "Can you make me a gig poster?" And he's like, "Yeah, send me the details." And so he sends him the details, so he just prints a text conversation. It could be like, just, how do you end it? Or just say that. Alright, I mean, that's us.
Maybe we should just like say goodbye and just one by one log out.
One by one log out. But forget to log out. Just go on dairy. It's still recording.
just fuck off camera.
Right, see you later.
It wouldn't really work if you were listening, but
That is true.
like, why'd they stop talking? Just walked away.
It's so much better with the cameras on.
Aye. Well, I'm
Bye.
currently got still game on, so
I've got a annoyed missus downstairs that I said I'd only be an hour, and I've been now at hour 3. I've got some explaining to do.
we've got a lot of editing to do as well.
A lot of editing and
Have fun.
have fun with that, Grant.
I don't know how to do editing, so I'll need to work something
Just
out.
Google it.
I'll Google it.
Watch a YouTube video. Learn how to make a YouTube video. It's the matter.
Aye.
We'll post this and hopefully people will like, comment and subscribe and ring the bell. And Susan Wojcicki or whatever I call it, her for YouTube, will send us a diamond placket when we hit 10 mil subscribers.
Is it made of real diamonds?
I think I don't. It's weird. It's like
I think it's just the name of it, is it not?
no, it's
Sell
like
that.
platinum sort of plaque, but like there's like a wee insert that's a real diamond. I think.
I'd be right on to fucking selling that.
Straight to
eBay.
Aye.
Just taking slight profit for eBay.
100%. Even
Maybe
when,
that's how all YouTube stars get all their money. They just sell a plaque.
it's all about
Well, it must be
sponsorships and adverts and the merchandise.
Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Are we going to start doing like merchant art?
Oh, 100%.
Hats, t-shirts, hoodies, gloves.
Waffle makers.
Socks, 2 for a pound.
Waffle makers, aye.
We'll get like a waffle iron that prints our faces on it. And only somebody can do that.
Imagine taking that onto like the Dragons.
So
It prints our faces. Who the fuck are you? I want to see your face.
Well, maybe that's the beauty of it.
Sorry, Mr. Barnentine, do you not want to eat me?
some Wayne in like Gambia or something who's never watched the video format, they've only ever listened to his own Spotify, gets the waffle maker for Christmas.
I think this is broke.
Like,
This one's broken.
who are these?
People don't look like this.
It's got to be like really bad drawings always. So see one of the, I can't remember what it was, there's hundreds of t-shirts going about where it's like really badly drawn people, but it's intentional. It should be that your eyes are one's away down there and one's away up here and your nose is up there. That's what I'm after.
To be fair, that's just like us normally, because we're either all from and living in Greenock or formerly lived in Greenock. So it's like,
I suppose.
for you don't know, Greenock is basically
Radioactive.
It's a Bowling Green.
It's like Chernobyl. Slightly less radioactive right enough, but
I mean, there was like 16-foot snakes running about. Well, not running about, slithering about.
slithering a bit.
Cutting
It was
up.
only 14 foot.
Was it really full?
It's only 14 foot and there was only about 12 of them.
I don't think anyone in history's ever taken this long to say bye.
Right, cool.
Like, he's just saying see you later, aye. No, just talking about snakes.
the worst intro ever and the worst outro. But cool, well, it's been fun. It's been emotional, and eventually, once this is posted, well, hopefully, people can like, comment, subscribe, and is that what the YouTubers say? Like, comment, subscribe, enter the giveaway, follow me on Insta, check out my TikTok.
Alright,
That's pretty much it, really.
Won the clip.
No, I said one the tone, but we need to work on our intro, and we definitely need to work on our ending.
See, that's twice we've actually ended, but Grant won't hit stop recording, so we need to keep talking. They're just leaning back like, this is nice.
Right, see you later, lads.